May 18, 2026, a Monday evening in Campbelltown, southwest Sydney. In most homes along these residential streets, families were settling in for the night. At exactly 7:59 p.m., a call came through to 000. The request for police assistance originated from inside a house on Raymond Avenue. Officers arrived anticipating a standard call for assistance. They approached the door and prepared to intervene. From the street, the house looked entirely undisturbed, but the origin of that call, placed from within the residence, indicated to first responders that the incident was isolated and contained. Inside the property, police discovered 3 deceased victims. They found a 46-year-old mother, her 12-year-old son, and her 4-year-old son. Investigators found no signs of forced entry. The windows and doors were intact. The only other person found inside the home was the 47-year-old husband and father, who was still alive. When detectives ran the family's names through their databases, they found 0 prior police interactions. There were no domestic violence reports, no apprehended violence orders, and no history of emergency interventions. With no history of conflict to guide the inquiry, detectives had to reconstruct the motive from the physical evidence found in the home. Police established a wide perimeter and sealed off the home. Acting Superintendent Michael Maroney confirmed that the victims had sustained significant injuries, describing the scene as particularly violent. Forensics teams quickly established a crucial parameter. No firearms were found anywhere on the property. Without a conventional weapon immediately apparent, everyday household items became potential forensic evidence. Detectives had to meticulously catalog the contents of the home, checking ordinary objects for any trace of the attack. The intensity of the trauma, paired with the lack of conventional weaponry, focused the entire investigation on the home's interior. Every room held evidence required to determine the exact sequence of events. To rebuild the events of that Monday evening, investigators focused on mapping the missing chronological hours immediately preceding the emergency call. Forensic specialists documented the exact placement of the 3 victims within the layout of the house. These physical positions were necessary to determine the sequence of the attacks. Next, detectives isolated specific materials and objects inside the property that could match the victims' injuries. Finally, they cross-referenced the father's formal interview with the crime scene, looking for anywhere his statement diverged from the physical layout, timeline, or forensic evidence. By aligning these individual data points, detectives were able to extract a chronological timeline of the murders from the environment they first walked into. Based on the culmination of this physical investigation, police formally arrested the 47-year-old father. They laid 3 distinct charges against him, 3 counts of murder, specifically flagged as domestic violence related. With these charges filed, the evidence entered a new phase. The focus moved from the forensic collection of data to the legal requirements of proving a criminal case in court. The proceedings moved from the sealed property on Raymond Avenue to the public arena of Campbelltown Local Court. During his initial hearing, the accused appeared distressed. His defense team did not apply for bail, and the magistrate remanded him in custody as the case was adjourned. At this stage, everything presented by the police remains an allegation. The accused has not been convicted, and the strict legal boundary of the presumption of innocence applies. The physical evidence meticulously catalogued by detectives, the timeline they constructed, and the conclusions they drew must now withstand the scrutiny of the Australian justice system. Outside the courtroom, daily life continues in Campbelltown. Traffic flows through intersections, and residents go about their routines in the neighborhood where this violence unfolded. But for the family's loved ones, the human cost is permanent. A mother and her 2 young boys were erased in a single evening inside their own home. Several vital questions are currently sealed in court documents. The exact minute-by-minute timeline and the specific forensic cause of death have yet to be revealed to the public. Police have secured the scene and made an arrest, but the final, proven account of the evening's events remains restricted while the matter is before the courts.